Hey guys, New York Dan here. Welcome to my channel. And it's supposed to be about automotive stuff. There are other things that get linked into this channel as well, like my crazy mini bike crap and various engines and different concoctions and whatnot. Anyway, today I'm looking at something. This is a bad hobby of mine, and I was gonna do a segment on this channel if I ever do live streaming about like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. I have a bad hobby of looking for cars on here. One of the things I look for, I have the Benz diesels, right? Well, Oldsmobile made a diesel before Benz, or no, about the same time frame. Benz had it first, but Oldsmobile came out in 1978 with a diesel V8 5.7 liter 350. It's a different block than the Chevy 350. It was beefed up, but long story short, this diesel, I actually like it almost better than Mercedes, even though I own Mercedes diesels. The reason is because it's a V8. When this diesel actually runs, it runs very smoothly, and it's kind of a better idling, more even than Mercedes. Don't get me wrong, if you have the Mercedes diesel in very good condition, the compression and stuff on it, it is a smooth engine as well. But there's something about these Oldsmobile diesels, they're so big, the way they run, the cars run really smoothly. I'm like a fan of them. Here's the problem though, these are notorious lemons. The whole thing is they don't have enough head bolts, and they're prone to having a bad head gasket, a leak in the head gasket. It's more than that. The heads can get cracked. There can be problems with the sealing surface. They use the same head bolts as the gas 5.7 V8. And believe it or not, I've seen gas 350 Oldsmobile engines that leak. They have a leaky head gasket. So that goes to show you, even with gas, it barely can even work. And the difference is, this is very technical, but hey, so a lot of people might know about it. Compression ratio, the gas one is only like 8.5 to 1. The diesel is almost, I think it was 22 to 1. It's naturally aspirated, no turbocharger. So anyway, I look on eBay from time to time and Facebook Marketplace for these cars, right? It's a bad obsession. They're doing me a favor. Luckily, there's none around where I live on Long Island, and that's kind of preventing me from like doing something stupid like buying one of these. I did find one right now. That's why I'm like, it's not near me, thank God. Now I could have it shipped if I was really crazy. You can ship these. They'll do it. It's just a matter of coughing up the money. Luckily, that's kind of preventing me from doing this. This one, I think this is kind of crazy. I'm going to show you the listing now. I'm going to tell you what I think, why this is kind of messed up. And I'm trying to do this in one take because my damn camera, once I get into editing this or having to edit it, it makes the task so much more complicated. Okay, so this is the Oldsmobile Toronado. They want 10,900 or best offer for it. Immediate payment of $500 is required. Okay, now they are claiming this is a super low mileage car. The bad thing is it's by the Chicago Car Club, and that is a dealer basically. And they're claiming it's one owner, but now where the heck? Oh yeah, they offer a vehicle history report, but you have to pay for the report, right? They're claiming it only has like 33,000 original miles on it. This is what it looks like here. Now, there's a few things that strike me as odd if this is a real 33,000 mile car. Somebody put on this dual exhaust system. That's not factory. This only had one pipe. Being that it's a diesel, and if it was garaged, I would think the original exhaust, well, exhaust can rust. It depends how much moisture, but I would think the original exhaust would be intact. Here's the next clue. These panels here, they degrade. Most of these cars are missing these panels. You can tell this one looks like a replacement panel because it's extra glossy. The paint quality on it, it looks like it's repainted and it doesn't quite match the faded paint on the car here. So someone replaced these panels. If this car was garaged and it was kept in a good location, these panels would still be good. This is a sign that the car's been in the sun a lot. The panels have like degraded. The other suspicious thing, this says Cadillac hubcaps on it. Now, maybe they like the caps, the look of them. They have this classic white wall tire. This is probably a newer tire. But the Cadillac hubcaps are kind of cluing me in that the mileage may not be correct. Because if you only had 33,000, your hubcaps would be diamond condition if they were Oldsmobile. These are not mag wheels, they're hubcaps. So why would you go through the trouble of changing out hubcaps and you don't even put the right ones on? The Oldsmobile hubcaps look very nice. I'm not sure why they would switch them out, other than that the car has a lot more miles than they're saying, and the original hubcaps got lost. They fell off. Maybe if you hit a curb or something, those hubcaps would pop off. It's got the red interior. The interior looks pretty good, actually. But it's still, if you take care of the interior and you don't go crazy with it, you have floor mats and stuff, it should look good. Even if it's 133,000. Here's the engine. You can see there's rust here on the air cleaner. This alludes that water was leaking on this engine, or the hood was left open and it started to rust the air cleaner. It puddled here. So that's a little disturbing that you would have that leakage there. Also, these engines, the whole problem with these engines, they came out with a better block known as the DX block, and this is an 81, so I believe it probably has the better block. But the problem with these engines, they are not reliable. Like, even if you have one running well, you may have a problem if you push it. I test drove one of these cars, and the guy was telling me, don't drive it over, believe it or not, he was saying 65 miles an hour. He said that's as fast as he would drive it. He was afraid of it breaking. I brought it up, I think I brought it up to 70, and he was getting all nervous. He's like, no, only keep it at 65. It takes a while for it to get up to speed, too. They do lack the power. When you're on the highway, the car's like pushing it. You're lacking power. But look at this one. They want a ridiculous amount of money for it. I think this could be, you could get ripped off really badly. Okay. Buying something like that on eBay, because you just don't know what you're going to get. And with that engine, you drive the car one time on a trip and the thing could blow up. There's no guarantee. But what I was alluding to, what I was thinking about doing, if I wanted to really get one of these, if I wanted a diesel, the GM diesel, I have a great idea. I like the Pontiac Grand Prix, the one from 1979 to 1985. That did come with a diesel engine, Oldsmobile diesel. It was an option. Unfortunately, finding one of those today is just about impossible to find one with the diesel engine because they didn't run that well. They had these serious problems, and a lot of them, for whatever reason, maybe because they were more inexpensive, the cars, the Pontiacs especially, they weren't as popular. Oldsmobile was the division that pushed the diesel. It was more I guess readily available in their cars. Cadillac also, and maybe since if you had a Cadillac, you would take better care of it or spend more on it. Pontiac's almost non-existent. So here's the deal. You can find a Pontiac Grand Prix, and it's a nice two-door sporty car, rear drive, so it's simple. I always like those cars. Those things are nice. The Grand Prix. I'm not talking about the goofy front-wheel drive versions that they came out with later. I'm talking about the nice one from like 79 to... Actually, even the one I like, I think, is from like 1981 or something like that to 85. Okay, so my point being is, instead of buying one, which you're not going to find anyway, that would have that diesel engine, the best damn thing to do, and I would do this if I have the means or the room. Unfortunately, I live in a very dense place. My hands are tied with a lot of these kind of project ideas. It might be a good thing, actually. Who knows? But, okay, so here's my concept. You get the Pontiac Grand Prix, a gas one, right? And a lot of them have a lot of, they're not running well. They're old. The engines are old. They have a lot of miles or whatever. So you could get it real cheap, probably. Just a regular gas Pontiac Grand Prix. Okay, what you do is you take the damn engine out. You take the transmission out. The beauty of these cars, they're rear drive, and you can put in better stuff. You get a 4-speed GM transmission. 700R4 is the name of it. Or I believe there's another one, a 200R4 maybe. They are an overdrive transmission, right? And the latest ones, like the 85, had those. The earlier ones are junk. They have a 3-speed 200 series transmission. The engines rev a lot on the highway. You're not going to get, even with the diesel, you're not going to get the mileage you should get. Okay, so you get that overdrive transmission, right? Then what you do is, instead of using the Oldsmobile 350 diesel, which is, like I've explained, is very questionable, you get yourself a used Chevy 6.2 liter or 6.5 V8. It's basically the same concept as the Oldsmobile. It has that distributor type fuel pump. It's made by Stanadyne, and it was called Rosamaster when it was in the Oldsmobile. It was made by the same company though. I think Stanadyne they call it. So you get either 6.2 or 6.5. I think the 6.2 might be simpler. Got to watch out once it starts being like computer controlled. It may get a little complicated. And then some of the 6.5s are turboed, and those might take up even more room. These are mainly put in trucks, Chevrolet, GMC pickup trucks, right? So you find one of those engines, and you can get those for cheap because they made a lot of them. You could possibly even get one from a junkyard if you can find one. You put that engine, I'm 99% sure, will bolt right up to that overdrive transmission, 700R4. It's all the same. I think the GM, that's the good part. These are like, a lot of stuff's interchangeable. So in other words, she turned the Pontiac Grand Prix into a diesel-powered Grand Prix like you would have with the Oldsmobile Diesel, right? But it will have the Chevrolet Diesel. It will have that one instead. You have more displacement, more power, a lot of torque, and then you have the overdrive transmission. I'm going to tell you what, I bet you that car will actually get better fuel economy than one with the Oldsmobile Diesel, especially with the overdrive transmission. It probably will get over 30 miles per gallon on the highway, and you'll have plenty of power with that bigger engine. So that's my take on it. I'm tempted to buy one of these. You know, it's like a collectible, but in reality, I'm better off holding my horses and if I want to do this someday, execute this plan that I just mentioned, put in that Chevy 6.2 liter or the 6.5 naturally aspirated would probably be even better. I mean, you probably don't need the turbo if you have that big of an engine, you know, and that way it's easier to fit it in the car. It's easier to hook the exhaust up. You don't need as big of exhaust the whole bit. So, what do you think, guys? Is that a cool plan? Or am I just going like car crazy here? By the way, I got to do a video about this sometime. A lot of people, they call those engines what do they say? They call it a GM. What the heck do they? Oh, that's what it was. They call those damn engines like the Oldsmobile or the 6.2 Chevy 6.5s. They call them Detroit diesels. Now that is not accurate, and some people, it's like some kind of urban like legend type thing started about this. Some people insist that that's a Detroit diesel. That's not true. That is totally inaccurate. Detroit Diesel is a separate division of General Motors, okay? They built very heavy diesels, heavy duty diesels that were two-stroke. Excuse me, allergies, I think. But yeah, make no mistake about it. Detroit Diesel is a different animal. Those are in like buses, trucks. They're two-stroke diesels. They're very reliable. They're some of the best diesels ever built. These other diesels are not Detroit diesels. Make no mistake about it. Even the 6.2 and 6.5, even if they're in GMC trucks or whatever, those are not Detroits. I believe they are built officially. Put it in the comments if you find any concrete information, but I think that they're either built by Chevrolet or GMC division of General Motors. They might be called a GMC diesel, but they're not a Detroit diesel. And the other one, the 5.7s, those were built by Oldsmobile. And they also, for the record, they did build a 4.3 V8 in 1979, and they also built a 4.3 V6 diesel. Some people say the V6 was better. It had like an extra head bolt, I believe. The V8 used the same number of head bolts as a gas engine, which is really bad. But I've also heard that the V6s are built very cheaply, and like the lower end of the V6s is not really that robust. People did seem to have better luck with them. However, here's the problem now. If you find a V6 diesel, Oldsmobile, Chevy, whatever, Cadillac, they had one in the DeVille that was front wheel drive. Here's the whole problem. Those V6 diesels are a museum piece. if you find one of those cars, you should not be paying a lot of money for it, even if it's in like really good condition. That money is, you're not going to get it back. Those engines, they can't be used for almost for an everyday driver. They're more of a museum piece. You cannot find parts for the V6. They become real obscure. Even the 350 V8, the parts are hard to get. You can find like used parts, maybe. Some of the parts are getting hard to find. You have to really, that's why my plan is so genius. If you put that Chevy 6.2 or the 6.5, they've made those engines, excuse me, they made those engines now into, the 2000s. They are more readily, parts are available, etc. The older ones, you see, the Mercedes is a real smart diesel to buy because there's so many of those damn things, and they were made really well. They're very robust, the older diesels, the 617 Mercedes. And there's still, you can find like almost any part you want for that engine. They have much better parts availability. So that's, hey, I figured I'd make up a quick video about this crap, and maybe I'll do more about it on my channel. I actually got to get rid of a parts car I have. I'll film some of that when I do it. I have a 300 SD 1981 Mercedes parts car, right? And I got to get rid of this thing. I got a guy breathing down my neck, a code guy. He doesn't want the thing. It's like a junk car. I live in a real strict area where you can't just, if I was up in New Hampshire, I could just have these cars on my property or whatever. Nobody would bother me. Could you cover them up or whatever? Can't do that here. Long story short, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this damn parts car. I'm gonna take the engine out. It's got a 5-cylinder 617. Gonna hoist the engine out, and the transmission probably. The transmission needs work. That's why I stopped using it. The rest of the car I want to sell. I want to try to sell that if anyone needs parts for that car. Parts from it. It's not necessarily a whole bunch of it. Well, the body parts are good. Like the car is straight. It's got a great hood on it. It's got the doors and whatnot. They look great. They're not like dented or anything. The metal's good on the car. Maybe someone will buy it. If not, then I'm going to just scrap it, and I'll get paid a little bit of money for the scrap metal. Not much, though. Those scrap guys, they'll give you like pennies for it. It has great alloys. The Bunt Cake alloys, they're in like diamond condition, the whole set on that car. I might try to save those. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's going to come up. That's coming up on the channel. I got to do some more stuff. I got some good videos that I have to edit and put up on the channel. Another mini bike video. A whole bunch is going on. After I move that car and get that engine out, then I'm going to work on the 300 ST, the 93, the big W140. I fixed the air conditioning on that last summer, and now I've got to put back the windshield wiper system. I got to do more debugging on it. And now my damn dash is not working. After I took that apart to fix the air conditioning, my speedometer's not working. There's more bull crap going on with it. I got to get to the bottom of that, figure out what's going on with that. Don't tell me my dash went bad again. I just put a new dash in that last year, a new instrument panel, so to speak, that I got off eBay, and everything was working. Took it apart to fix the air conditioning. I got the air conditioning working, and now my damn dash isn't working. Go figure, right? So I'm going to get into that as soon as I get done moving this other car and dealing with getting this situation under control. Take the engine out. It shouldn't take that long if I get to it. Then I can get back to working in the garage, making more videos, doing the W140. I have more W140 videos to post as well. We'll get there a little bit at a time. Anyway, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that if you haven't already. It's free, no charge, and I do this stuff just for fun. This is a fun. This stuff is really fun, and maybe I'll do a Facebook Marketplace video where I search through, because I do this stuff anyway. It's a bad hobby of mine. All right, guys, this is New York Dan. I will see you in the next video. Have a good afternoon or a good night or morning. All right, bye.